All right, so I already showed you how to make pillow mode and extrude mode from my draw model tool, but this one I'm going to show how to do clay gun. So pretty similar to some stuff I've done in other videos, but this one we're going to start with grease pencil. So Shift A, add in a grease pencil. I'm going to use a blank, and then we want to go into draw mode. So Control Tab, go into draw mode, and I'm going to draw a few things just for like testing. So draw that. We can change to color attribute mode, and I'll draw a little like ghost or something like that. And I'm just gonna fill it in manually. Let's try changing the color, changing the thickness. You can use the left and right brackets to change that, or press F, or just use it up here. So we got some blue, and I'll make this even bigger. All right, so we have something to test with. Now let's go into geometry nodes. So if this looks black, that's something you have to change up here. Vertex paint opacity is all the way down, so you can turn that up, and then we can actually see the colors. So click new right here. First thing we want to do is turn these into curves, because right now it's grease pencil. So there was a node called grease pencil to curves. All right, so now it looks like curves. We don't want layers as instances. Now with these curves, we're going to turn them into points. There's just a node called curves to points, exactly what we want. So instead of having this set to count, let's change this to length, and we can change this to 0.01. So now all of the points are 0.01 meters from each other. They're all like the same distance from each other. We can already see how this is turning out. Like it looks like the radius is already accurate. Now we're gonna turn these points into volumes. So points to, let's see, there's a new thing, points to SDF grid. You can use points to volume, but points to SDF grid is like a new thing, and it's going to be faster and more accurate. So then we need to turn the grid back into a mesh. So I believe it's just called grid to mesh. Yes. Okay, so this is basically remeshing it. It's turning all of the points into like volume spheres, and then we're turning those back into a mesh. So right now it's just like way too big because our radius is huge, but we can just take the radius, read the radius. So it's going to look at the radius of the points right here, originally coming from our grease pencil, and we can plug it in right there. And this should be a little better, but the voxel size is like huge. So we can turn this down, but I recommend typing this in. Don't just slide it all the way down because your computer might crash. So I'm going to do 0.05. All right, it's a little better. I'm going to go a little higher, or lower rather, 0.03 maybe. And now we're getting pretty close. You can see if I turn this off and on, it's matching exactly the radius of the grease pencil. Like, this is a sphere right here, and it is like the same size when it's being remeshed, so that's cool. Threshold we can just turn down to 0 also. One thing you'll notice is none of the color is being transferred over. So if I press Control, Shift, and left click, we can actually look in the spreadsheet at each layer. Let's see, so control points, we have an attribute called Vertex color, and if we scroll down enough, some of these, should actually be different. So we have different values for each of the points. And knowing this name is pretty nice because we can bring it up. So let's get the named attribute out right here. And we know it's called Vertex color. We can even see it in here. I didn't have to type anything. And again, I can press Control, Shift, and left click. We can sample the points right here, and we can see if the vertex color exists, and it does right here. If we check over here, it no longer exists. So it's kind of being destroyed once it gets turned into a grid. So we just have to like bring the information from here over here. And we can do that with a, let's see, sample, spelling wrong, sample index. And we want a sample nearest. So sample nearest is used to get the index that we put in right here, and we can plug points into both of these, plug the index in right there, and we want to change this to color because that's what we're capturing. So basically what this is going to do when we bring this value over here is it's going to try to figure out of like all of these points that are being created, which are closest to the points right here, and it's going to like transfer the color over. That's how it works. So we can get a store named attribute. We can call it the same thing. So I'm just gonna copy this with Control C, just hover over it and press Control C, and we can just plug this in, but this is still a float. So let's change it to color first. Plug it in, and now we can test again with Control Shift left click to get this viewer out. And so here it is as points. After we turn it into a mesh, it's broken, but once we transfer it back, it should be there again. And it's not the most accurate thing. You can see that it's like not really respecting like the radius of the points. So I'll show you how to fix that later, but you can see that it's already like coming through. We're getting some color, but it's not actually applied to the material. So we need to set a material, do that. And I'll start setting up some inputs so that we can actually have options over here. Let's plug this in. So we have material option. Can also change the voxel size, and I'll plug this in so that we can change like the resolution of the curve, like how close the points are together. So this is a pretty annoying thing with grease pencil, but if you come over here, you can only add grease pencil materials. So if we wanted to put like a normal material on this, we have to make a new object. Like I said, kind of annoying, but it's like a workaround we have to do. So Shift A can add in any like mesh. So I'm just going to add in a plane, and this is where I create a new material. I'm just going to call it Vertex color. Now we can select this again and make sure that vertex color is applied there. I'm going to select this and we can go into the shader editor over here. Let's turn on material preview. If I change the color, you can see that it is actually applied. Now we just have to pull in that attribute, select this, the vertex color right here. So I'm going to press Control C, hover over that, and we copy it, come back to the shader editor and bring in an attribute right here. And we can paste that and just plug the color into the color. And now we can actually see the color, which is kind of nice. All right, let's go back to geometry nodes. If you want this shaded smooth, you can also add a set shade smooth node right here. Okay, so to make the color more accurate, what I am going to do is instance onto these points. So I'll get an instance on points node, drop it in. And right now, if we preview this, we don't have anything in the instance slot. So I'll bring in an icosphere. You can test this out with other shapes, by the way. This is just what I'm using. You can plug that in right here. So these aren't the right size because they're all just like 1 meter radius. So we can just take the radius right here. We still have radius information from the points, and we can just plug this in to the scale, and that should make everything the right size, you know, relative to the grease pencil. So now when I delete this, it's still not working properly because this is outputting instances and this is looking for points. So it's not able to find anything because these are all instances. That means we have to realize them to like turn them into points. Realize instances, we drop this in, and now it's working properly. All right, so let's look at the difference here. This is what it was looking at before. You can see that it's like bleeding over from right there, but now it's not bleeding over from either side. It's not the most accurate thing. Like the more spherical you make this, the better, the more accurate it's going to be, but eventually it starts to slow down. So if I bump this up to 2 subdivisions, it's a little more accurate. If I bump it up to 3, it's even more accurate. But, you know, you have to decide. There's sort of a trade-off with like performance when you're doing this. Okay, but now we have this. And a cool thing with it being a mesh is when we go back into draw mode, we can set this to surface and we can like draw on top now, and it'll keep like layering up. You can see it keeps sticking out the more I draw, which is pretty cool. You can't do that on its own when it's grease pencil. Like I can keep doing this and it's just always going to be in the same spot because there's no like surface to draw on. But yeah, so I could draw like eyes on this ghost right here, draw little mouth, just funny. Can make this a little higher res. All right, so another thing that's kind of gross about this is the vertex color is like really like messy and choppy. We can actually just blur this and make it look a little better. There's just a blur node. So blur, make sure it's set to color. We drop it in, and now we can adjust this to change like how soft the colors look. I think like 2 or 3 is pretty good most of the time. Obviously right here, depending on like how big the faces are, you might want to bump this up a little more. We can also like take the group input and bring this in here. It's just called iterations. So I usually like to press N and go to group right here and make sure this is like called something else. I'll call it a color smooth. Now we can turn it up and down over here. Same thing with like, if you think the mesh looks too lumpy, you can smooth it out. There's a new group node that I think is just called smooth geometry right here. And this should help you out. You can turn it up and down. You lose some of like the shape, like it makes it shrink a little, but it's bump it up a few times and it helps quite a bit. There's also a volume smoothing thing called Laplation. It would be SDF grid Laplation. We drop it in here. This is much slower, but it produces pretty good results. Like you can see all these little like holes will be like smoothed right out. So yeah. Again, this is sort of like an issue of like quality versus speed. With my tool, I have the option to like separate strokes and separate layers and stuff like that. So if you wanted to separate strokes, so like say if you wanted eyes on top that don't blend in like this, then that's when you would use a for each loop for each element right here. And so you would do this for every stroke. So you can change this to spline. We can drop that in right here and then put this after vertex color. Oh yeah, and a weird thing too is you want to make sure you're using the geometry output from down here. So now every single stroke should be separate. Like, so one continuous stroke, you can see it's blending to itself, but as soon as I let go and draw another one, that stroke is no longer blending in and being remeshed with it. So that's how you would separate every single stroke. If instead you wanted to separate layers, like we have grease pencil layers up here, right now we only have one, but you can create a second one. And just to test this, I'll draw something on the surface right here. We can draw like another a big third eye or something like that. All right, now let's change this. Instead of spline, we're gonna find a way to loop through each layer. And if you check this, we do actually have layer, but the thing is we're turning it into curves first, so it's not exactly gonna work the same. Maybe we can put it before. Let's see if this works. All right, so that is working. So that's pretty convenient. And now you can see, because this one right here that I put on a second layer is no longer blending in. We could draw like a Yoshi or something, make sure that we're on one layer. This can be the nose, and then we'll do like the rest of the head right here, a little body and little spheres for hands. But if we were to change this to white and like draw on the surface, it's gonna blend in and look kind of weird. Maybe you don't want that. You can just put it on a different layer so it doesn't actually blend together. Same deal with like pupils. If you don't want pupils to be blending in, you can put it on a different layer. Let's make a new one. All right, so now we have that. We have a little cute little Yoshi. Yeah, turning this into a mesh after the fact, like if you wanted to sculpt on top of this, it's kind of annoying. You can't right click this and convert to mesh, it just gets deleted. So the way around this, let's see, I think there might be a new modifier that is geometry input. You can use that and then select the grease pencil. So, okay, so this right here is a mesh. It's just a plane. So it's, if you want to convert it to a mesh, you have to make sure that you have a new object and you use the geometry input to select the grease pencil right here. So now you can see that it's here, and we can set it to replace original like that. And then we should be able to just apply this. Oh, maybe not. Let's right click, convert to mesh. Okay, that doesn't work either. Oh, it's because it's set to as instance. So right click, convert to mesh. And now we can go into edit mode. You can see this is all just points. It's a normal mesh. You can select stuff, proportional editing, start stretching it out or do whatever you want, sculpt on top of it, rig it up. That's most of how I made clay gun. There's a lot of extra stuff in my tool that I'm not going to show how to make just because it gets pretty complicated. I'll just open it up real quick to show all the other stuff. Like for instance, over here, I made a way to change colors for different layers if you don't actually use the vertex colors. Like if you just have it set right here, the vertex color will just be like completely empty. And that's what these are for. So you can actually like change these after the fact. And I also have a thing that replaces the material of different layers, which took some testing to actually get right. But if I wanted to replace the texture of this or the material of this, then I could, change it to fabric or whatever. And then to be able to switch back and forth between like different layers and different strokes, I had to play around with that. I have like crash prevention. This is the fill curve stuff that I showed in the previous video. And here's a bunch of the like grease pencil layer stuff. So different like colors for the layers. And then like this is all the other stuff. So what I showed you is like going to be like, it's like the free version essentially. But if you pay for the product that I made, then you get all this other stuff too that's built in that I put a lot of time and effort into. So you do not have to buy this. That's why I wanted to show how you can make it yourself. But I do appreciate every sale that I get. It's how I'm able to like pay rent and stuff like that. But yeah, I hope you like this video. I hope you learned something from it, and thank you. Goodbye.